confidential, no-obligation discussion on how Bank of Eastern Oregon can help you. Hi, this is Niall Bradshaw, Ag and Commercial Lender at Bank of Eastern Oregon in Ontario. We offer term loans and operating lines of credit on land and equipment and have been helping farmers and ranchers grow generations since 1945.
Bank of Eastern Oregon, member FDIC.
Jeff Gaves here for RowPaint.com. Hey, when it came time to sell our house, we looked at what would really add some value to the bottom line, and we knew that the old epoxy floor coating in the garage was an eyesore. We had big sheets of it coming up everywhere. So RowPaint.com made it all better with a new premium floor coating. The floor was stronger than epoxy, would last longer, and it only took 1 day to do the install. The estimator looked at the job, explained the whole process to us during an in-home presentation, and the day of the job, a professional crew of applicators showed up, got to work, and within 24 hours, we had a new garage floor. We could walk and drive on it within a day, which was important, and it was a key selling point when we sold the home. Hit RowPaint.com. Watch the 1-minute video on how you can turn your garage into a showplace. Yep, I was floored by my experience with the official paint and coatings company of the Boise State home team. RowPaint.com. Power in people, pride in painting.
I do my best when I feel safe and inspired to learn.
That's a school board thing. We need to prepare students for the jobs in the future. That's a school board thing. School boards transform communities. Text school to 225568 to learn about school board meetings. Message and data rates may apply.
Matt always knew he wanted to be a doctor. That's why he makes the most of every day. To study before breakfast. To work hard. To do whatever was necessary to achieve his goal. He found an answer in the military. If you have a passion, a vision for your future in any field, todaysmilitary.com can be your path to a fulfilling career. You have a calling, we have an answer. Find your way at todaysmilitary.com.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Today on Idaho Sports Talk, we catch up with Bronco great Orlando Skandrick on his post-football life.
And at 4 o'clock, we'll talk to PGA golfer Troy Merritt live from the site of the U.S. Open. That's today at 4 on Idaho Sports Talk, Sports Radio 93.1 FM, 1450 AM, The Ticket.
If you want to catch a show that can really sleepwalk through topics, don't miss Idaho Sports Talk today from 3 to 6 on Sports Radio 93.1 FM, The Ticket.
Free shipping. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, or visit dell.com/business deals. Top of the hour, WBC light middleweight champ Jermell Charlo. Next segment, the head football coach in Louisiana, Billy Napier. Got a podcast coming up tomorrow, like we do every single Wednesday. In fact, speaking of my podcast, what we still do as a part of the Jim Rome podcast, the original Side Hustle. We take your voicemails. We still do that. That's still a thing. Write this phone number down. In fact, put it in your phone. Keep this phone number, 949-385-0447, for a couple of reasons. Number one, the podcast is a little chippier. We have a little more freedom to say and do what we want there than on terrestrial radio, or even satellite radio, kind of, sort of. So keep that in mind. If you want to get a little more aggressive with it, this is the number to call, 949-385-0447. Maybe if you want to get some reps get some practice, and a lot of you callers need practice, use that phone number. Put it in your phone. Every once in a while, I'll shock somebody by picking up the call. Last time I did, I was like, Rome, is that you? No, it's me. It's me. 949-385-0447. I mentioned earlier this notion of soap in the mouth. Like, you talk about it, something, a thing. I never got that from my parents. I would, like, I'm pretty tough on my kids because there's a certain level of responsibility and accountability that I expect from them. I gotta admit, I would never bust out a bar of Lava or Irish Spring or Dove or Dial or any of the above on my kids. Not even soft soap, not a bar, not soft. I wouldn't. I can discipline my kids without going to the soap. However, I'm not here to judge. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids because I don't want anybody telling me how to raise my kids or what soap to use on my kids. Not making light of it. It came up earlier in the program. So with that in mind, why don't we go to Houston, Texas? Jerome. Hey, Jerome.
Lance Mack, Hall of Famer, glad to be in. Thank you again for the line. I was going to start with the Nuggets, but I'll start with the soap. It is real. I'm in my close to mid-60s. I'm going to tell you what, Ron, what got us in the most trouble is lying. If we got caught in a lie, oh my God. We had my dad on one side with his belt buckle, my mom on her side with a spatula, and they would say open wide and pile that dial soap, bar of soap, and they would say chew until we tell you not to chew, and we would chew it, and they would say finally spit it out, and they say okay, you're good, wash the rest out. And that's how they washed our mouth out with soap. And it was, and you know, I'd say it probably happened, you know, I wasn't such a good kid, maybe 10, 12 times. But
what does dial soap taste like?
You think about lying next time. Only other thing I have thrown real quick is the Denver Nuggets. And I love the Nuggets. And a lot of people have misconceptions how they got the term Denver Nuggets. Well, I'm going to tell you, Clone Nation, that at that time, Denver was considered the richest in gold in the United States. If you look at the Capitol building in Denver, which Denver is the capital of the state of Colorado, their Capitol building is laced on the dome with gazillions of dollars of pure gold. And why that is? Because they had the biggest nuggets, they had the biggest thing. But the thing is, people forgot about that. These Denver Nuggets, those nuggets don't mean gold, they mean nuggets. And if you look nuggets up and Google it up, you know what you're going to see? If you scroll down, keep scrolling down, it equals nuts. And that's what the Denver Nuggets have. They've got the nuts to push this thing through. And I just wish they could bottle up and send a portion of it to Houston for our Rockets, who got smashed by the superior Lakers. And I'm so upset I'm out.
Jerome in Houston. You know, I might want to say, Jerome, if anything, are either one of your parents still alive? You just said you're in your 60s. If so, one of them ought to get that spatula and that bar of soap again and give you your 13th meal of soap after that take on the Nuggets in the Capitol. But I think it's actually accurate. I think what he says about the Capitol and the fact that that's why they have that name, I think that's fairly accurate. But then he said if you Google it up and you scroll down, ultimately you'll find out that Nuggets really means nuts. And that Houston needs nuts. And they should bottle that up. I mean, I thought he was going to start crying. Anyway, his whole point is the soap. Like, he was raised with a bar of soap in his mouth. Like, it's a real thing. it's interesting because when I think about getting your mouth washed out with soap, I always just kind of assumed it was for profanity, right? You use a bad word. He said, oh no, we got it for lying. Lying's bad too. Joe in West LA, quote, the Clippers just can't finish the job. Regards, contractors. SoCal Jeff is in. My only prediction for tonight's Clippers game is Doc will be yelling, that's a foul, that's a foul, and sweating his oily ass off. Signed Brad and Corona.
Hey, I wanted to hit on the NBA Finals for a bit. I want to talk about Kobe or KG or PP. I only want to talk about the abundance of oil on Doc Rivers' nose and forehead. Hey, Doc, you're not supposed to sweat more than your players when all you do for 48 minutes is sit on the sidelines yelling out, that's a foul! Romy, be honest. Have you ever seen a face that oily before? I mean, no wonder oil's trading at $133 a barrel. Doc's been hoarding it all on his face for the past 2 months. George Bush wants to send troops to occupy Doc Rivers' nose. Hey, when this thing's all over, Romy, and the Lakers win the championship in 7, lose tonight by 20, maybe we could get a team of scientists to quarantine Mr. Rivers and determine how I can paddle my car from what comes off Doc's face every game. War Lakers in 7. War Phil Jackson playing all of the uncircumcised Euros in his lineup at the same time.
Did you know something? We should have known right then and there. That sounds like a call that Brad and Corona could have made this week, except for the subject matter, right? Phil Jackson, Lakers, Clippers, Doc. That was his first call ever. And in that first call ever, could the guy have been any more comfortable and immediately going to circumcision smack? Like, we should have known right then and there what that was going to bring us. That was 2008. Brad and Corona, I don't remember a guy being that comfortable and that off the board in a first call ever, I don't think. There have been different first calls. That was the first call ever by the greatest caller ever. Keep that in mind. When we come back, Billy Napier is my guest. He's the head football coach at Louisiana. And then at the top of the hour, Jamel Charlo, WBC light middleweight champ, will be joining us. If you're trying to get through, we can get through on the other end of that. You've got Nuggets and Clippers, Game 7. You've got